Well, it definitely says we're live. Live. Shall we just get this thing started, shall we?
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places,
Good evening, Brother
worn
Eric.
out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. The tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to
Good
take.
evening, Stoner.
When
Hope all
people
is well,
run in
swell and
circles,
groovy.
it's a very, very mad, mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And to feel the way that every child should sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello, teacher, tell me what's my lesson? Look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. The people run in circles, it's a very, very
Good evening, Megan.
mad world,
It is a mad world when people run in circles, you know?
mad world, enlarging your world, mad world.
Definitely a mad world. A happy, a super duper happy. It's Thursday, everybody. Thursday evening. Hope all is well, swell, and totally hip, and groovy in your neck of the woods. So this is a very special live stream this evening. Something that needs to be brought out to the world, to the universe. Good evening, Nez. Good evening, Nez. Hope all is well, swell, and totally hip and groovy. Totally hip and groovy. Elsewhere. Good evening, my groovy friend, Brother Mark. Brother Mark. We got some good people here in the old VW bus this evening. Sister Link. Good evening. Good evening. Hookah Dave. Hookah Dave. You're new to the VW bus. Good evening. Hope all is well, swell, and totally hip and groovy in your neck of the woods. But a special welcome and good evening to my friend Megan, because this is all about her tonight, all about Megan. As you fine folks may or may not know, I met Megan way back in September of last year. She came to work at the company I work for, and she now has been hired on permanently. She's a permanent XL Auto Parts employee. So yeah, this is a very special one this evening. And of course, the topic, is when sorries, just don't work no more. When it just you can only say sorries so many times. And in my case, it seems like the past few months, that word has basically turned into air, to nothing. Totally right. Cassie! Cassie! Good evening. Hope you and Chris. I hope you guys are so swell and groovy. Hope Sadie. Hope little Sadie's doing good. Oh, you guys are one blessed family. I got some really cool people hanging out this evening in the old VW bus. This is a special live stream, a very special live stream. When sorries really don't count no more. And that's the topic. That's definitely the topic this evening because I have a good friend out there. My good friend Megan, the world famous Megan. And she is definitely the full on, complete on aspect of every friend that anybody's ever wanted in their whole life. Like, seriously. When somebody considers you your best friend, that's a special word. A word that's not taken lightly. But in my case, that was kind of like the word that started it all for me. Salvador! Holy schmolies! Good evening, brother man. Now, this is definitely the icing on the cake. The bees to the knees right here. Yeah. We got Salvador hanging out. Brother man, hope you're doing swell, well, and totally hip and groovy. Totally hip and groovy in your neck of the woods. Now, that man right there is full on one special cat. One special groovy, full on painter, full on all around groovy person. Thanks for coming to hang out this evening. Yes, we got Salvador hanging out this evening in the VW bus. Everybody's coming in just to hear what's going on when sorries don't work. This stream is completely all about my friend Megan. Megan, like I said, I met her a few months ago. She came to work. And believe it or not, she was the first person to really come into my life and kind of make me think twice, really, about the future. Because before I met our friend Megan, who's hanging out right now on the VW bus, vicariously with you fine folks, my life was a little different. I had basically no worries at all, except for the puppy dog Ranger. And I was pretty much content on just where I was at in life. Your best friend is Pablo the kitty. Oh, Salvador, man, this is so groovy you're here. Like, really groovy. This is a special night. This is a special stream when, like I said, when sorries just don't work no more. I might as well just, spill the beans here, just throw it all out there to the world, because that's what it's about. That's why I do YouTube. That's the biggest thing about me and my life right now, is doing YouTube and sharing and documenting my life with the world. And the past couple months, it's really been a wild roller coaster for me, because it's like when you get to hang out with somebody and become friends with somebody and start understanding that life does go on after weirdness, after the big D. Life does go on. To me, life didn't seem like it went on to that aspect until I met Megan, who happens to be hanging out in the VW bus this evening. But I met her, and my whole life completely changed. It really, 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 really did. For the most part, my life for the past almost 3 years. Salvador. Salvador's a very famous artist, a very famous painter. He's inspired a lot of folks. He's inspired my good friend Mark. And by the way, he's like a good, like Adam the Woo's like best friend. Like, that's a whole nother story right there. Adam the Woo, he goes on adventures for you. He don't even ask your mom. If you want to know about his Sadie's journeys, go to adamthewoo.com. Toby, good evening, brother man. Good evening. Hope all is well, swell, and totally hip and groovy in your neck of the woods. And everybody just hanging out this evening. I got a bus full of folks. Straight up, legit grooviness. He's inspired, to say the least. Yes, brother Mark, he is definitely inspired. And inspiration is a funny thing, because it takes certain things to inspire folks. It takes certain things not to inspire folks. And mine says 12 folks in the van. You guys, I'm glad you guys are here. This is like, friends are a very special thing to have. And I'm pretty sure I almost pushed one of the closest friends I've had in my life in quite a while away at least the past almost month and a half, let alone the past week. As you fine folks may or may not know, I had a lot of stuff going on at work. I basically pissed off a lot of my coworkers, and I've been since then in the midst of trying to make my amends and apologize, which seemed to be going swell, well, and groovy and all that. But when it comes down to trying to make your amends and apologizing to, where it all began, it can't happen the way I like it, because my friend Megan and I are not allowed to talk at work, because certain folks think that she basically like messed with my head, which is not the case at all. And that's where people are very misunderstood at work, which I tried to last Friday make it right, where I was going to apologize publicly in front of everybody to Megan, not just to Megan, but to let the fine folks that I work with that, our friend Megan does not mess with people or mess with my mind, because my mind is always messed with myself. And that's what the hardest thing about going through different changes in life is trying to deal with those changes and not get yourself too involved in yourself. Basically, you don't want to overthink. And that's what happened. And for the time in my life, my friends, for the first time that I can really, really look back at my life with relationships, I've never felt the poisonous word of jealousy. Like, never. Like, never. Never in my life. And it seemed like those feelings were coming out in the past few weeks, almost month. And I have never in my life dealt with those emotions because I was always a super free spirit before I got married. I was really a super free spirit. I didn't worry too much about settling down. I didn't worry about too much about having a family, let alone having a serious relationship. So like I said, this is a different vlog than normal. This is like, because I can't do certain things at work and make things right. I am just trying to show the world that I myself is just like you guys, you know. Yeah, I might live in a VW bus and pretty much most of the time seem and feel like I got my shit together, because I pretty much do. But when it comes to dealing with, I guess you can call them negative thoughts from previous stuff or residual fights, it's kind of hard. It's definitely hard. But the craziest thing in the world is when you don't think about those and you push the people away that you care about around you. And you can only say sorry so many times. So many times. And those sorries don't work. And I learned that. Like, the hardest way possible. Because when my ex-wife divorced me, even though I felt completely a failure, and I still in a way feel like a failure because I tried so hard, you become bitter a little bit, a little jaded a little bit from that, and you kind of bury that stuff. I buried it, and I just dived deep into doing YouTube and taking care of my puppy dog Ranger and van life. And then when all that stuff came out, like I said, I pretty much pushed my friend Megan away. And I'm glad she's here tonight hanging out in the VW bus, by the way. I'm glad she was cool enough to let me send her a link, because I haven't talked to her in almost a week. And today, I don't know why I did what I did, because I was planning on this anyway this evening to talk about it. But I just asked Megan, I was like, are you not going to talk to me no more? And basically I told her I was going to be doing this live stream just for her tonight. It was all about her. All about her. Because I just wanted you guys to know what was going on with me. Why my channel has been kind of janky. And that was because of me. Because my own chaotic way of dealing with stuff and the poison of jealousy. Because jealousy is a poison. It's the most darkest, poisonous emotion I believe is out there, other than probably like murdering and hate. I don't know. But jealousy is not cool. And it's the most stupidest. Like, obviously, I never dealt with that stuff when I was young because I've never felt jealous. I've never felt weird when I see friends talking to other friends, you know? Like, I've never felt like that. Like, when I was in high school, I mean, I guess I was a ladies' man in high school. That stuff never bothered me. Yeah, envy. You're right, man. Envy is poison as well. Envy is jealousy. Jealousy is poison. Exactly, man. Peace, love, and beat up grease, brother Mark. You have a most groovy evening. How about if I catch up on some comments? You know, I just go yip yapping. But this is not just about yip yapping. This is a straight up apology. You know, I know I've said sorry before, but like this is apology to a friend. This is like, you know, if something like came between like me and Stoner or me and brother Mark or what, like I have to apologize to my friends. You know, like when friends fuck up, and if other friends decide, hey, they forgive you, there's always apology. Salvador, brother man, thanks for hanging out. Oh yeah, I keep my head up, man. I'm almost swell, well and groovy. It's just my own insecurities from a divorce, man. That's all it is, you know. That's all it is. You know, we all have insecurities, and it's how we deal with those insecurities that makes us who we are, basically. And I did not deal with them the correctamundo way. Like I seriously was like, what the hell? How do you deal with this stuff? Like it was weird, very strange, very odd. It made me a very hateful person. I said some very hateful things. I sent some very hateful text messages. All right. The world famous Megan has said it. We all need a break before we snap, man. Because sometimes when we snap, it's not grocer. Because I know I flipped the script a few weeks ago for the first time in my life. I snapped snapped big time. So I know what it's like, and I'm just glad that you're hanging out, Megan. And you're my best friend as well. Sometimes, just sometimes, you get shown the light in the most strangest of places if you look at it right. Some Grateful Dead. I just wanted to do this, Nez. I wanted to talk about what was going on with me publicly because I don't talk to nobody, and I sure as hell can't publicly or basically set things right at work because I'm not allowed to, which is totally jacked up. But I'm glad that I can say what I need to say. And I just want folks to know that we're all human. Even me living in a VW bus, the positive place I think anybody can ever hang out in and be and live in, even myself can get jaded because of my own insecurities. And that's all it boils down to. It's not over an ex, it's not over somebody, this person or that person. It's my own insecurities. So you're definitely right on that one. Well, apologies are sometimes very, very needed, Stoner. Like like with me. I've never dealt with stuff like this in my life and exploring. My gosh, man, I had like the Florida, straight up Florida crew hanging out. Like, oh my gosh, Megan, exploring Ryan's here. Exploring Ryan, Megan, exploring Ryan, exploring. Sweetness, man. We had Salvador hanging out here. Brother Mark's hanging out here. Like, you guys are some swell folks, man. Let me catch you. And that's true, Megan. True friends. I only have a very few of those. Exploring. It's so cool that you're here, brother Ryan. Man, hope you're doing swell, well, and totally hip and groovy in your neck of the woods. Cheers, brother man. Cheers. I bet you it's nice and warm in your neck of the woods. I tell you what, it's been super duper cold. It's even supposed to get colder here. I guess Monday is supposed to be like -8 degrees, man. Not the best of conditions to be living in a VW bus, but I'm okay. I'm okay, man. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing swell, well, and groovy. I'm just doing some chatting, letting people in on what's going on in my life and all that jazz. Because my life's been kind of weird. Definitely weird is an understatement about my life. It's it's been totally like a roller coaster, man. That's what it is, roller coaster. But you know, I get in a grip, kind of like uh, I guess the same as um, the album. What's the name of the album or the Get a Grip album? I'm getting a grip on stuff, man. Totally getting a grip. Just sometimes I need to be shown the light in the strangest of places. Of yes, Aerosmith, man. I couldn't think of it. I was thinking about the Pickers because they just found Aerosmith's van. I was thinking about the van. Kind of like I had it on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. But yes, Aerosmith. I get a grip. Oh man, uh, you know Jim Morrison, the late great Jim Morrison. He did say, we're Where is your will to be weird? I've always had a will to be weird, you know? Hookah Dave! Hookah Dave's still hanging out here. Hookah Dave. Speaking of Hookah Dave, me and the world famous Megan, I've asked her before if she's down to go to a hookah bar. She wants to go to a hookah bar. I haven't been to the hookah bar in like since I lived in LA. I haven't been to the hookah bar since I lived actually in San Francisco. That was the last time I went to a hookah bar. It was when I was living in San Francisco, man. You know, Rice Aroni, the San Francisco treat. Chris, brother man, good evening. Cass, man, I'm almost lost for words. Good evening, brother man. Hope all is well, swell, and totally hip and groovy with you, my brother. Man, once again, hope all is well, swell, and groovy with Sadie and your wife. And man, that's so cool that I have some really good friends. Straight up, some of well, not some, the best YouTube friends anybody could ever have hanging out in the bus tonight. Like, seriously. Like, Salvador came hanging out. Like, Salvador Van Gogh himself. Man. Brother, man, I used to fly RC planes when I was a kid. I used to be really into them. I belonged to the Ventura County Comets, an RC club out of Ventura County, California. I started, my very first plane was a Goldberg Eagle. Now I think they got like, it's called like an Eagle 2. And then I had an Eaglet. And then I went to like all kinds of different planes. Man, I got into like the pattern ships, you know, pattern flying and all that jazz. And then when I turned 16, I got into cars and girls. Like as is like it changed. My whole perspective changed. All my RC planes are at my brother's house, like in storage. I would love to get them out. Yeah, I used to fly pattern ships. Yeah, I need to catch up on some of Jackie's videos. Like I try to catch up on folks. Like Brother Mark calls me catch up rad. I try to get caught up on everything, but when I'm hanging out in the VW bus, either I'm reading or I'm watching like videos to learn stuff what I'm reading about. Wow, foam board planes. That's cool, man. Man, when I flew a drone last summer, one and only time I flew a drone, and that thing was so much fun. That was the first time I flew anything remotely, an RC anything, since I was like 23 years old. Like, it's been a cool minute. I'm glad you caught my stream too, Hookah Dave. This is a very special stream. This is like not your average stream. This is like something very special. I need to catch up with everybody on what was going on in my life. Why my YouTube channel's been kind of weird, because I can't put positivity out there when I myself is not feeling positive, you know? But I really, really, really wish I can set things straight up where I work where people can understand certain things. But, you know, maybe someday, maybe someday. That's my ultimate goal with my stuff and my um, relationships at work. Because You know, when everything is like a well-oiled machine up there and everybody's like in a good mood, it's a cool place to hang out. It really is. It really, really is. And I'm I've been doing my best, you know, especially this week to keep things kosher up there and in a great, great vibration because it really is a good place to have work done, like what I work and do. That's why I'm glad I got to have the opportunity to have the world famous Megan come and hang out this evening. Like I said, I wasn't going to say anything to you, Megan. I wasn't going to say a word to you about it because you told me to leave you alone. And once I figured that out, I was going to leave you alone. I didn't even want to give you a text message yet. Your mom was not feeling well, like, but I did because I know what it's like to worry about mamas. I worry about my mom so much. That's why I'm back in Oklahoma. If my dad was still alive today, I would be living in California. That's just, I would be living in my VW bus somewhere in California, more than likely. Probably divorced because that's just the way it would have happened. But at least I would still be in my VW bus. I think no matter which way, quantum, let's see, quantum time, whatever, or quantum dimensional time, whatever way you want to look at the roads of time, I think I would have ended up living in this VW bus no matter what. I was destined to. I was just destined to. I mean, destiny awaits for anything, right? You can't change it. But I've learned in the past, I don't know, 3 years that I've been doing this YouTube channel. It'll be 4 years this September. I've learned one thing, that the friends that I've made here, even though we've never met except for Pinky and her son Aaron when they came to visit or came through and visited me on their way through Oklahoma. That's it. I cherish my friends I've made here because they're the only ones I've been close to in the past few years. Because all my other friends, I've kind of alienated myself from. And I guess I have had that habit since I became into the van life, even more so because it's easy to do, alienate yourself from other people. And I sure did try my best to do that with my folks at work. But I learned quickly, you got to work with those people, you know? You got to make a dollar. And it's hard to do when folks, you know, you don't get along with those folks. And it wasn't them, man. It was just, it was all me. It was all me. And that's what's crazy. That's what blows my mind away because I look at how I used to live before I ever got married, before I ever met my ex-wife, and I look at that lifestyle I had, and I miss that. Not so much that lifestyle, it was just that way of thinking. Very like everything will be fine type of thinking. I never overthought of stuff. Like I overthink everything now, it seems like. Even like with things like, you know, at work. Like, why do I got to do it like this? Why am I the one pulling all these things? You know, and I overthink that, and I get negative. And I start thinking rationally when I come and actually relax and hang out. It's like, oh, because they actually need me to do this, because they rely on me, because they have nobody basically else to rely on, I guess. It blows my mind. Like, blows my mind. I'm just catching up on comments. Oh, quantum physics? It doesn't suggest. It's straight up. It's all in the mathematical equations. There's not just, multiverses. There's quadriverses. There's just. It's amazing, man. Like, and then like the infinite number of what ifs. It blows my mind. Blows my mind. I don't know. Getting in talking about quantum physics or just quantum mechanics and quantum stuff like that interests the shit out of me. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess you can call me a geek. I don't know. But that's just always how I've been. It makes it even more interesting living in a VW bus. Especially this VW bus. But I wanted to make sure that somebody very special to me, my best friend, the world famous Megan, knows that I screwed up. Because I really did. I just wanted her to know that, and let you guys know that envy is jealousy, is poison. And overthinking is the same thing. And if we don't deal with our insecurities, let them go, they can ruin a lot of things, friendships, jobs, etc., etc. Thank you, Megan. And trust me, you're the closest thing to a best friend I've had. You are my best friend. When those words first came out, I didn't know how to react to those words because it was just different to me. But now I know what they mean. And that's why I asked you so many times. I actually bugged Megan quite a bit. Am I still your best friend? Am I still your... Because those are my insecurities. And like I said, if we don't let our insecurities go, they'll whack us up. Straight up whack us up. Very much so. Self-esteem. And that was where I went wrong, Cassie. My self-esteem went downhill pretty fast because of just insecurities and jealousy and envy. Good night, Stoner. Peace, love, and VW grease, my friend. But Megan's my best friend. Megan knows a lot about me. Megan's the closest thing I've been to in a few years. Besides you fine folks. I love you too, Megan. It just hurts because it just hurts, man. Well, see, brother Chris, my insecurities, like, I've never realized that I had until just recently in the past few months. Because, to tell you the truth, I kind of gave up on ever, like, having a female friend in my life again. I gave up on that. And then when it was like I got to have a female friend to hang out with, those insecurities came out because it was just like like I said, I never dealt with him before. And when all I had to deal with was Mr. Ranger Dog and take care of him, and he was gone. What blows my mind is I had pretty much an idea from the get-go, but I still chose to go down that path of what if, you know? I'm glad you got to meet Ranger too, Megan. You're one of the very few people who actually watch YouTube or watch me on YouTube and know me in life and got to meet Ranger. My friend Pinky and her son Aaron, they were lucky enough to meet him as well. And my friend Toby. Toby's my good friend that I kind of grew up with in Ponca from the age of 16 and up. So very few people got to meet him, but he was a special buddy. Good friend. But here we are, my friends, rolling into almost 50 minutes into this live stream. I can just sit here and talk on for quite a while if you let me. But I put it out there. And I'm very grateful and blessed that you're still hanging out with me, Megan. Vicariously, or once in a while, dinners at Applebee's. Like, I can't look at an Applebee's and not think about dinner or having a steak or just talking, you know. I can't see a red Kia Soul without thinking it's kind of wild stuff. The Mac, the McDonald's is very special now, yes. Because At least I was privileged enough to get to work on your car. Megan's car, it was last week, I think it was. I guess I had a hiccup or something, an electrical hiccup's the only way I can describe it. But it reset her, or it flipped her brake. Basically, it flipped a breaker in her car is the best way to describe it. And all I did is reset it. But I just read up on it, what could be the problem, like kind of read up on it quickly and then fixed it. I guess that's why I read a lot, because I learn a lot of stuff about reading and all that jazz. Nez, thank you so much, Nez, for hanging out. And Cassie, I had some good friends hanging out this evening in here. It's good to have friends around you. You know, I don't know if Megan knows the group Candlebox or not, but there's a group that came out in the 90s called Candlebox. And one of my favorite song by Candlebox is Far Behind. It's like my favorite song because it's so real, because it talks about how your friends can be around you when you tumble to the ground, and then your friends will be by your side when you're flying high. And it's just it's amazing. So I'm gonna finish this off with a little bit of Candlebox, because I don't know why when I hear Candlebox lately it made me think of you.
Now maybe did I mean to treat you bad, yeah, but I did anyway. And then maybe
Good night, brother Chris. Thank you so much for hanging out.
say, yeah, but
I'm
you
grateful
left
for you
me
hanging out, my brother.
anyway. So maybe
And I'm honored that you hang out in the VW bus this
friends
evening.
to stand around you, watch you crumble as you fall to the ground. And then someday your friends to stand beside as you were flying. Oh, you were flying up so high. But then someday people look at you and what they call their own. They watch you suffer. Yeah, here you're coming home.
Good night, brother Chris. You take it easy as well, my friend. I look forward to your presence in the VW bus again. It's a great song.
Now maybe I could have made my own mistakes, but I live for what I know. And then maybe we might share in something great. Won't you look at where we've grown?
Thanks for coming into my life,
Won't you
Megan.
look at where we've gone?
Thanks for not giving up on me,
Someday comes tomorrow holds
because I believed you
sense of
did.
what I feel for you in my mind as you trip the fire line. And that cold day when you lost control. Shame you left my life so soon. You should have told me. Hey, but you left me far behind. Now
And I look forward to the day we get to smile and have fun and kind of have the shits and giggles at work once again and joke around. Time is everything. Believe it or not, time has a lot to do with who I am as a person in my life, in my everyday life. Sometimes time is for me, sometimes time is against me. But the groovy thing about time, time can flow forwards and backwards. Because this, I assure you, thank you, Megan. Thank you for being you. I love you. You're my best friend. I will see you tomorrow. And I will see you wonderful people when I see ya. One another. Even when you're pissed off at somebody, try to be kind. And love one another, because love is the only thing we take to the other side. Because when we die, that's all we can be is grateful and carry our love. That's why I said, be grateful for every moment of the day. Peace. Love. And always Volkswagen grease.